Oh, sure, niggas on my dick tone. Joe crack the dawn. Your boy Jada. It's the Joe and Jada show. You already know every show legendary. Bring this shit in the nation. Every show legendary, every show iconic, and we doing shit out it. Today's guest, you think of the bad boy logo. I think of coming downstairs bringing bags of merch. Shout out to his pops. Think of the ASAP mob. You think of individuality, hard working. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for ASAP Ferg. Shout out to T-Ferg. Yeah. Yeah, me. Production Ferg still got the muscle speed. That motherfucker getting back there, flop with fucking tank top on. It's over for one of these young guys, man. Hey, yo, listen, he missed out on the fashion, on the drip. And you one of the guys I respect the most because you throw that shit on. You wear that shit to the bodega, the supermarket. You gonna come every time with the fly shit on. And also, the tribute, when you did the park over, the Rucker Park over, I was there for that, sir. Oh, yeah, you was there. What's that like being from Harlem? Like, this is Harlem heritage. We're gonna go into it, guys. I don't think nobody really understands your position in Harlem. What was that like when they tapped you and said, yo, come design Rucker Park over? Shout out to my boy, Step Free. Is that free? Yeah, he hit me. He got commissioned to, he's super into N1 basketball, the whole thing, Rucker Park. And he got a call like, yo, we need somebody to do the park over. We're going to do something over. And then he called me. And I'm like, word? And I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. I just want to kill it. So I had called JB, Jalen Brown. I was in traffic, and we spoke for like 4 hours about just the origins of basketball and like where it came from and just like the Aztecs and just, how the game was made and brought up. Because I wanted to make something that was super monumental, and it just came out amazing. Now, it came out amazing. Scientifical, that's the God Asiatic scientific. One king side, Mark here on. Shoot. Yo, let's take that. Shoot. I start shoot. What's up, brother? You got, what's up, Ferg? What's going on, baby? Art, the music, what we doing, man? Tell us what's going on with you. Oh, yeah, so I just dropped a project called Flip On Shorty, which is actually, this is the vinyls right here. So like bringing back like that flip phone era music, ringtone era, and I did a whole film behind it. Right now, Dion, my manager, he's working on like distribution and everything. So we just been doing screenings. We did one in Art Basel, Miami, and I'm looking to do one in New York. So I'm gonna let y'all know what we do. What you want people to get from Flip On Shorty? You want them to feel like they back in that? Look, yeah, so if you see the movie, it like really reminds you of like State Property, like Killer Season, all of the hood movies we love. Like literally, that was the reference for this movie, like bringing back the 6X shirts, bandanas under the fitteds, like all of the shit that I grew up singing. And then the music just kind of really, it creates a soup for that project. So, yeah, like when you see the movie and they hear the music, it'll just take you back. It's like a portal that take you back to that time and era. You want to know what's so crazy is when y'all first came out, ASAP, that was that vibe you gave us with that first video. It felt like, oh, shit, very nostalgic. These young kids, they just getting back with that vibe. You know what I'm saying? For me, it's crazy because y'all doing what we used to do. So my daughter comes with some ill jeans and she'll be like, yeah, now I'll show a picture in 1992. That though shut her down quick. You know what I'm saying? Because the youth, they feel like what's ours? You know what I mean? But they don't know. They tapping into that frequency. And so they coming out like, yo, your shit whack. Oh, gee, my shit. I'm like, yo, bro. Like, I never forget, I had an argument with, what's his name? I say that all the time, Exclusive Gang. He told me I'm jacking his style. He said, yo, I've been seeing you jack my salsa rhythm, but let's go to the videotape where I had the Goyard leather hoodie on and all. I said, brother, you were still running with BMF at this time. And so we tapped into that frequency. I love when you tap into that. Me, I feel old when they dressing like we was dressing when I was 20 years old. Motherfucker pull up next to me with that shit. I was like, damn, man, we some old niggas. Nah, that's what we used to do.
We can't wait. We can't wait to get the money to jump in the pool with the mink and all of that.
Because we know your dad, super Harlem legend. The thing I love the most about you and your career is you carved the way for yourself. You earned everything yourself. Anybody who ever found out who your following was, they found out after the fact. They loved you for your style, your talent, and everything. But then, by the way, you know, I used to explain, I used to be like, yo, you know who his father is, and no one knew. But when Harlem was Harlem, and y'all could tell you when we used to stand out there and look at the wide body Benzes and all that shit coming down, the whole thing was the whole New York City, from Yonkers to Staten Island. It was 125th and 145th. If you got money in Long Island and you got yourself the ill whip and a fucking ill outfit, your job was to go there. There was nothing else than that. Like the dream was, I'm going to get me some shit and drive down 145th and I'm going to drive down 125th. By the way, I was the fat Puerto Rican kid in a convertible with McLaren 560 with no shirt on, with fucking chains on like this in front of Willie Berger, leave the door open on purpose to see if you touch my shit. I want to stand you up. But your father had that store, man. That's what dreams are made of.
We was coming by, I came by your store a few times to do consignment because he was putting his clothes in your store.
You been had stores? Yeah, I've been at stores. That was one of the first things I did when I got on with Flojo. The way it used to work was like, you got to hit record, and then once that shit fade, you ain't get fine. That's the term. It had no money either. Even with Flojo, when #1 in America, I was getting $500 a show, so it wasn't no real money. So I was like, okay, what do I do off season? So I got to get me, you know, we're not fashion, we're not being fly. I got to get me a fucking store. And so, you know, we grew up with Jew Man. There was a store, and that's not, to all my Jewish people, it's not the relevant choice. It was just like none of that. Oh, yeah. That was the name of the store. Disrespect. And the woman who owned it was named Rose. She was a Holocaust survivor. And she showed you her numbers. Mm-hmm. They used to give them her numbers. So Rose didn't give a fuck about it. This is the wildest time in New York. She'd be like, yo, I'm from the Holocaust. I don't give a fuck about nothing y'all talking about. Pay now. Right. And so she was a legend. Shout out to Teddy. The flyest store in New York City. They robbed me. 2 stops down on the train. They grabbed his shit back and put his back in the store. Yeah, they step, and if they like you, they go like this, Joey, I'm going to open this store on the count of 3. You run that way. You see the guys across the street over there, Ferg. So you have to run on the train. You got to make it out of it. You got to make Ferg. Niggas ain't have shit. So they used to wait outside of Jew Man, and if you was the Herb or the Vic, even block, I think I was tough. I still had to run. 1, 2, 3, down. They're running up to the train station. Like, that's it. They waiting. If they love you, they give you a warning. Show you see 3 guys. Yeah, they're going to rob you. So at 1, 2, 3, run that way. And I lived like 5 blocks from there, so I had there, but I was a fat man. So I was like, but I'm out. You know, you could survive for a Jew Man. It was crazy. Yeah, so that's where we got it from. That's the way we got inspired. You know, I used to go there when I ain't had no one. I used to read all the fucking V-bombers, sheepskins, and hang out in there and just watch them negotiate with people and just.
So that was in the Bronx?
Yeah, it was in the Bronx. I got 5 big blocks.
Yeah, I was going to Delancey too to get sheepskins and all that.
That's where I had to go. One of my first ones came from there. One of my first.
But Delancey is where Run DMC made Delancey. Run DMC changed the game. So before Run DMC, everybody was rappers was dressed in a costume. Like Indians, and it almost looked like the Gap Band, and I'm not lying.
You know you telling the truth.
Where I go,
You get a flag though. Melly them did at the 11 suits.
that was costume. That wasn't a costume, right? But DMC, the first guy who dressed like drunk did.
And Water, that was also like a costume. He just suits the leathers with the little strings, with the hat.
Well, it was considered the first.
Yeah, sure, it's odd though. Maybe everybody wanted to dress like that.
Everybody had to go to Delancey because they were shooting their videos at Delancey and all that. So it was like, yo, we're Delancey Street and got to go down there. The Bronx to Manhattan was a whole, like, it was like a movies of warriors, bro. Like, it's people I know, my grandmother, one of them, that lived 85 years in the same projects and never left from the Four Corners. It's a lot of people. You know, shout out to my stylist, Terrellish. His father passed away, Terrell's, and, you know, I was hanging out with him in the hospital, and I was asking him, like, what you most proud of? He goes, yo, I took my family to Paris. You're dying any day now, and you say, that's what I'm most proud of it, you know, and it was a big deal because we as artists, we get to travel like we too blessed.
Right.
You know, and so when you talk about where we from, a lot of people never left the Four Corners. So, you know, Roman Man and going to Brooklyn. I used to go to Brooklyn. I went everywhere. Albee Square Mall. I remember one time I went to the Coliseum. I couldn't find my keys fast as niggas. Yo, it wasn't always Fat Joe rap. I think it was a fat Puerto Rican nigga with 10 bags. They like, we gonna get this nigga. Yo. That thing is on me, like 10 of them. I gotta get my keys and get up in that motherfucking wick, get the fuck up out of there.
It's crazy.
No, listen, I gotta tell you the truth. I tell you when I win, and I tell you when I lose. That's the only way to be a great storyteller. You gotta
level spelled backwards. Level.
Level spelled backwards is what?
Level. I was about Adidas Soho activation. Me versus me, artwork.
Oh, yeah, so the me versus me artwork. I got commissioned to do an art piece for Adidas. And shout out to Yogi.
But before you even go into it, don't you feel blessed? Because I don't know how long you was doing art personally, but
yeah,
you presented it to the world not that long ago, and you already getting commission, we getting you fucking out of here like that. How did I feel?
Nah, I feel good because I get acknowledged for something that I've always been into and doing. So I was
advancing, ladies and gentlemen. He did this. That's crazy.
And I thought we designed the best one. We did the ones with the Bronx, Harlem, joggers. We took care of them. We took care of inmates too. Yo, okay, he get the young dream. In fact, he got one, I got one, y'all. We took care of y'all. Bags got one. We took care of y'all. They made 311. We did the Harlem. I got the Harlem George too. It's that same color thick.
I gotta come. That's also y'all raised. I know y'all got a lot of nostalgia. I need some of the Rough Rider jackets. Oh, I need all of that. Nah, but it's a blessing, man. Because I went to art school. I went to art school of art and design, high school of art and design. My pops also went to that school, so I was always doing art the whole time. I actually thought that I would be an artist, but I was always just rapping.
You are an artist.
Yeah, artist. I am an artist, yeah. Well, visual artist. Like, I thought that I was going to go for that first, but I was battle rapping and being in the streets and just listening to music, and I always had a love for music. So the fact that I'm able to create more life and energy around my brand through doing something that I always loved is a blessing. And for people to recognize it and embrace it.
Obviously, you, except Rocky, you guys have learned to diversify. Like with you, you know, you're not just like stereotype or categorized in one category. Like I see you at many different, I see you at many different spaces and accepted by everyone. Yeah, you know, we always say the music, we always say behind the scenes, but we'll tell the fans and all that the music is just the coffee book that you read. Is that yo, I like that guy ASAP Ferg music. And then you sit next to the guy, and he happens to be the owner of Calvin Klein, and you're like, yo, man, we could do some fucking underwears together, some ASAP Ferg. And that's how it goes. So your fame and your music is the talking piece to get you into those rooms. And you definitely, it seems like you know how to do that. Everybody don't know how to do that. Some people are just born to be rappers. Some people are born to do shit. There's nothing you could do. I got friends. Yeah. Now, I come up in an underground hip-hop crew. They don't want commercialized. They don't want commercialized. They don't care. They don't want commercialized. You know, I had to convince them when I worked with LL Cool J, my idol, who was 4 or 5 platinum all the time, asking me to get in our shop. I had to have like a team meeting, and they were like, yo, we don't rock with niggas. I was like, yo, this is my idol. I was trying to come up. I could,
but they're not doing that. What are the other guys like in the car?
Everybody's good. Everybody do what they do. Diamond is DJ, one of the greatest producers class rappers. Diamond, he DJs the 45 joints. I pull up on his shows. Finesse is doing his thing. He DJs and produced. He just produced the album like last year, 2 years ago. He did the remixes to Motown. You got to check that shit out. So he did all that Marvin Gaye shit over hip hop beats. For everybody OC, everybody out there, Buck Wild. Buck Wild gave y'all whoa. That's a Harlem classic.
It is.
He was mad in the town, nigga, whoa. Sitting with it now with his bottle like, whoa. Sitting with it, what? That fucking whoa. What did he say?
Tell us about the Safe Rap Collective and the Lit Effect.
Who's going on there? Shout outs to Denzel, shout outs to Tia. Nobody's doing it right now. Nobody came together as a clique. I feel like I used to do it more so back in the days. A lot of rappers used to hang out together. You see freestyles with X, you, Big Pun, everybody. Like, we don't really see the camaraderie like that. Like, not just doing music together, but hanging out and building together. And you would just build on it. He was coming to my sessions a lot. He knocking out 4 or 5 joints each session. I'm coming to his session, the same thing. And we like, yo, let's just form this collective because we had so much energy together. We just wanted to put it out to the world and package it. Yeah,
that was that Native Tongue by T from Molly Law, Jungle Brothers, Drop Or Quest, De La Soul. Everybody, different crews, but everybody got together and it made some mean classics.
It was a nation. Like,
yeah, that's how hip hop was. So hip hop, when I got turned off by hip hop and I moved to Miami, was when everybody started fighting. I never forget. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to keep bringing this up, but I was in Jersey. Throw the flag. Throw the flag. I was in Jersey in my jacuzzi, and I'm listening to I-97, and I hear either Jim Jones or Cameron say, yo, that nigga Nas smack his Kofi off. That's when that was it for me. That was like, yo, I pulled out the white flag. I said, we're moving to Miami. I can't take this shit no more. Because they were violating pharaohs, the kings of Egypt in hip-hop. It was just came a time when New York was just violating each other so much where I was like, yo, I grew up. Let me tell you a fun fact that you don't know, something you never heard before, right? If you look closely to Black Sheep's video, Engine, I'm one of the guys, y'all. Pick it up. Back on the scene, Chris get like an extra.
I better find that.
Okay.
On it. That shit better be live.
Was in everybody's video. Everybody was in my, when I did Flojo, Greg Nice came, Peanuts came, Grant Poobah came, fucking Donna D, Finesse, everybody came. And that was just the first song I ever had out. We loved each other in hip hop. We had a type of camaraderie that was just, we didn't care. It was competition lyrically, but it wasn't. It was like, we want to see everybody grow, everybody win. We want to support, lend our platform to everybody else. The shit got real funky out here. And so, you know, I went to Miami and started that. Working with Cali, Pitbull, Rick Ross, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne came from Katrina. fucked up New Orleans, he came to Miami. I was the first one with open arms to welcome him and baby. And we all working together, making songs together, jumping on everybody. I found that camaraderie while I was down there when I made all the Make It Rains and all that. It was because everybody was working with each other. Up here, it was sort of like now, it's like, I love social media and I love to watch what's going on in the world and I love to know, but it's ugly out there. How everybody's just won't stop disrespecting each other. Won't stop. I just be like, yo, wow. Now it's like every day, the phone